Welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. Joining me this fine bank holiday Monday, it's food's finest, Adam Nathan.
I thought we were doing hospitality.
Catering's finest, Adam Nathan.
We just discussed this.
Hospitality's finest, Adam Nathan.
Even behind the glass, they're laughing at what's going on. Come on. Yes, I'm very well. It's bank holiday. Spurs are, as Jake said, never going to concede another goal. Everything's great.
What's on the menu?
Goals, and goals.
That's what you ask you, isn't it?
Goals, and goals.
Goals and goals and more goals.
Only at one end
with
of the pitch.
With a side of goals.
With a side of goals.
Lovely. And him off the papers, Jake Sanders.
How you doing?
Can you be that?
What? Food's finest?
Him off the papers?
Oh, yeah. Food's,
yeah.
Him off the
Anyone
papers.
Anyone read papers
fine.
anymore?
You tell
Online.
me. You tell me.
Online, definitely. Good weekend, both of you?
Yeah.
Can't remember it?
It's nice when you win on the early game. You can just sit back, relax. Doesn't really matter what else goes on football-wise and,
fantastic.
you know.
Yeah, and after like a week that was not the most glorious in Tottenham land because of transfers, when the actual games happen and you have a good result, you realise that like the transfer stuff just doesn't matter.
Honestly, I could not agree more.
Like it just doesn't matter. Like you miss out on a player, fine, that is a shame, but then the games happen and you win the actual football match. That's what we're here for. And it is amazing how much a good win can just completely reset the mood of when it's important versus stuff that doesn't actually matter.
It helps
in
that it's in the early game at City, but yes.
Yeah, but I mean, if we'd beaten Everton away 2-0, you'd still come away thinking, do you know what, buzzing about that.
Absolutely.
6 points, vamos.
Absolutely.
That reminds me so much of, I think it was the start of 18-19, which was that the summer where we didn't sign?
Yeah.
And we won the first 3 games, and I think we won next week the equivalent on a Monday night at Old
Man
Trafford,
United 3-0.
when Mora scored, and it was like...
First game was Newcastle away, maybe, was it?
Yeah,
I
then
think it was
Fulham
Newcastle,
at home
then
at
Fulham at
Wembley.
home at Wembley. And I remember saying to someone at the time, it makes such a difference when you just win a few games. Like, you just put the transfer stuff to one side, and we won, and we were top of the league. And we still didn't sign anyone, I don't think, in those final few days.
No.
But the vibe was
We don't do that
great.
here.
Mourinho was melting down, I think, that day. And it was a bit similar the other day. I said to my dad, I was like, it's so much better when we just play. Win, not have to worry about what's going on in the transfer window.
You make it sound so simple.
We're going to be let down, obviously, so a few more games would be nice.
Just keep winning. Just win every game, lads.
Mate, that is a great idea. Just win every week. That's such a good idea. Why did no one else thought about that?
I'll take that. Keep your messages coming in as ever. Stephen Bruton, a member. Morning, all good. Dedication, guys. Doing this on a bank holiday. Of course, we're doing it on a bank holiday. It's Monday. We won on Saturday. We'll always be here. I'm still trying to get into the swing of actually not playing on a Sunday because literally at the end of last
nice,
season,
isn't it?
yeah, and coming in and doing the show, having a day to kind of get over it.
You've forgotten
decompress.
about it.
Never, not forgetting about that game on Saturday. No way.
And those Sundays at White Hart Lane, if you do drive to White Hart Lane on a Sunday particularly, the traffic is so bad. Whatever buzz you get from a game or otherwise, which we didn't have much,
you lose it.
You're home 2 hours later for a 7-mile drive and you think, what have I bothered doing that
Especially
for?
when we've lost at home to Ipswich.
Yeah, or Leicester.
Or
everyone.
No,
Pick a
don't
team.
go there. Don't go there. I just need to mention, as ever, that we have a fantastic prize to win for anyone that becomes an Echo of Glory member, and we know now how you can do that. And this is the picture that James is going to show everyone. Not yet. You need to go onto the An Echo of Glory YouTube page on your laptop or on your PC, and you need to become a member to be in with a chance to win what is a fantastic prize. You'll have seen it before, any regular viewers to the show. It is, of course, this signed shirt by none other than the main Dutchman, Mickey van der Ven, Tottenham's number 37, one from the Europa League final in Bilbao, and it's got a couple of other little trinkets, a medal there and everything. So get onto the page and do that. Also, of course, get onto the Instagram page, the Twitter page, give us all a follow, send us a comment, be rude, be nice. You'll get into an argument with Johnny and Gary on there. So,
but also, you can also wait a year and have the Champions League equivalent one. So
listen to that. Or you could do it and have both.
Yeah, that is true.
Champions League, that'd be nice. Jorge's in. Hello, mate. I wish everyone would relax. I hope we keep this run going, but this constant comparison to last season is lazy and premature. Great performance thus far. Long may it continue. Who's comparing it to last season? Oh, well, last season was crap, wasn't it? Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Who? Which season?
I would say, in relation to last season, sorry to interrupt, we had discussions on our group about whether pre-season mattered, and I think our prevailing thought was that at least you get a bit of buy-in by beating Arsenal, and they will buy into the Frank way, nice result. the City game did feel a bit of an inflection point, given that Ange's showpiece result was last year against City. And there's still a little bit of a culture war going on with Ange. And I just felt that had we got gubbed and had a bad result, you just know there would have been a little bit of, well, Ange went up there and won 4-0 last year and we got changed him, we won a trophy, and now we got this guy. So I do think that Frank getting a result like that and a performance of that calmness and just dominance was a really important buy-in moment for the club. That is true. But even all the more reason that we always win there,
That's
but this
true.
guy you brought in.
That could have gone badly. The lineup then, as we always like to do. Personally, no surprises.
I think a lot of people thought we'd go back 3. Right?
Okay, once
it was basically Dan or Johnson.
I'll give you that.
That was the.
When I saw, yes, firstly I'm thinking back 3. Then when I just see the 4-3-3, then I'm looking at the names. I'm thinking, okay, the names make sense.
We've got a pretty nailed on 11 at the moment if we don't play a back 3.
So does this mean that he doesn't think City are a side worthy enough of having to put out a back 3?
I don't think it's that. I just think
it's not as
simple as tough away game. We're just going to play a back 3. There's reasons, and we know. Definitely with Rico Lewis and City, you can really... We've done it to them for years under Pep. There's so much space in behind. And if we'd lost Johnson, we would have had, two attackers, right, technically?
Yeah.
Kudus and Richarlison. I don't think it's as easy as, that kind of game. We're going to go there.
But for example, we're not going to play a back 3 against...
Bournemouth away, for example.
Well, I was going to say against Leeds at home or West Ham at home or Everton at home.
What I'm saying is I don't think it's as black and white as that kind of game. We go to the Emirates in a few months. We might do it there, but we don't really know what he's seeing that we're not seeing.
No, I just thought it was as black because at Brentford it seemed that way. But anyway, once it is 4-3-3, that's it.
Pretty nailed on.
Yeah, nailed on now.
I saw quite a good tactical breakdown of how pressing in like a 4-4-2 was always going to be better against City because they're going to play out the back. And I guess someone like PSG are a team that maybe mix it up a bit more, go long, whereas City, that with Guardiola, they're always going to be playing out the back. They're always going to play a high line. And this is mega wise after the fact because this is literally how the 2 goals have happened. But I suppose if Frank is a genius and he called it right, then having the extra forward to play over the top, which led to the first goal against the high line, and also having the extra man in attack to press that against a team that are going to try and play out the back regardless, especially without Edison, who is a long ball specialist, whereas Trafford is not so much. Maybe that's why they thought 4 at the back versus 5, have the extra guy up there to do more damage at the top of the pitch.
Yeah, interesting. That is a fair point. It was a solid opening 8 or 9 minutes from us. I mean, let's face it, when we went away, I'm thinking Arsenal, Liverpool last year, we were under the pump as soon as the game started. Didn't see that.
We've been under the pump at Arsenal and Liverpool for about 8 years straight.
True, but I mean, it was
we've never breathed in those 8 years.
Yeah, and we go to City, and I don't remember what the opening 10 minutes was like last year, but certainly this year, I'm thinking,
they had a few chances last year.
I think Basuma got booked after 15 seconds.
Right, yeah, exactly. Marmoush had a couple of chances early on, and I'm thinking, is that City starting to kind of get into their stride a bit? What did you guys think?
20 minutes in, I remember looking at the clock, and I thought, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games where you think you're doing all right, you go 1-0 down, and you've thought, this has been a really bad first 20 minutes. But we didn't really have much of a threat going forward, did we?
No.
We couldn't really get into the game. We couldn't really get Kudus into the game. A lot of it was down the left, and Johnson was sort of doing his usual going back. But we looked comfortable. I mean, there was that one silly Porro header, which nearly was it Porro?
Yeah.
Sort of knocked it back to the keeper. And then Mamouche had a 1-on-1 from Haaland where he sort of like...
Fantastic save, though.
Yeah, brilliant save.
I mean, Peter Schmeichel will be proud. I mean, he stayed, kept himself up high. It's hit him, I don't know, chest or somewhere there.
I didn't feel like we were massively under the pump.
No.
They didn't have us under the caution sort of penned back. We were quite comfortably, able to play our way out. And there was a few times, I think there was one Spence to Kudus, which was just overhit. And you sort of felt... There's a goal in this for us, definitely, on the counter-attack.
Definitely.
And City, especially with Trafford in goal, just looked nervous.
But the thing is, Adam, if that was towards the end of last season, that game. The first 20 minutes, you're thinking, well, come on, let's go. But because of the way City played, I think, against Wolves, and it was only Wolves, and now everyone's suddenly saying, oh, they're back in. I was sort of waiting for them to kind of pounce on us at some point, but it never really happened.
I'm pretty down on the business City have done this year. They've signed a lot of players, and there's a lot of names that, the tacticos and the, sort of transfer gurus saying, oh my God, this guy's generational. But when you look at the levels that City were, I don't think Wolves going to be much caught this year.
No.
If you go from people going mad about this Reinders character, they used to have Kevin De Bruyne.
They did.
Who was like the elite level. And, David Silva to Marmoush, that's not an exact comparison. But you know what I mean? Like
Mahrez even.
They seem to have gone from a player that are like the real top level to guys where I thought we would have been linked to someone like Cherky, Marmoush, Bob, and players like that. So, but as a general thing, we've all heard the phrase, you earn your right to play. And it just felt like that sort of away game where you do see out the first 20 minutes, not massively under the cosh, but you appreciate that the home team, first game of the season, going to be a decent atmosphere for their fans. And you have to ride a period of play out. And you're never going to get by without them having chances. They're Man City at home. And we did it. And then eventually you could just see how they realised after 20, 25 minutes, like, wow, we've not got our goal.
Few groans,
odd misplaced pass. And this football changes, but it's always the same ultimately. You grow into the game as the away team. And I thought from about 25 minutes on, you started seeing little passes from Romero to Bentancur, out to Porro, back in. And just there was half a second extra that we had space on each one of those passes. And you add those all up together, and I think that's how you end up dominating these away games.
You mentioned Romero, and I want to mention him basically every week that he has a good performance, because personally, as I said last time I was on, when he was made captain, and I think I was here with you, it could go one or two ways. Yeah. But was this going to be the thing that really made him just step up and knuckle down? And at the weekend, you barely saw him, which is
when
a
you
good
don't
thing.
notice Romero, that's when you know he's good.
Yeah.
The only time I really noticed him is when he made an absolutely crunching tackle right in the middle of the park on, God knows who it was, maybe Reinders. But he was just brilliant. Like, he didn't do anything, absolutely fine. Exactly what you'd want from your leader away at Man City.
But he is now leading.
Do you know what? In golfing terms, he's dialed in at the moment. He is dialed in, Romero. Right now, that is exactly the kind of games he wants to be playing in. If we can get him in that frame of mind beyond the international break, crunch Champions League games, that is exactly where you want him. If his head is in the right place, and I've taken so long to warn him, and he still does frustrate me, but he looks so on it right now, and he's already gone up a level in 2 games in terms of responsibility.
You mentioned international break. We normally say he's saving it for that. I know there's still one more game, so let's see. But he hasn't been saving it for Argentina on the current show.
No, I think he enjoys playing against Haaland quite a lot. I mean, you're never going to stop Haaland from scoring in general, but I don't know if you remember. We all remember the game that Kane scored his record-breaking goal, beaten 1-0. Romero absolutely batters Haaland with a tackle. And he went straight through after about 15 minutes, got booked. He ended up getting sent off that game in the last minute, but he scared Haaland shitless in that game, and Haaland hasn't wanted to go near him since. Didn't go near him, and Haaland's obviously a wonderful player in and around the box, but you do have the advantage with him sometimes that you're not going to get an all-round striking performance. And I've always thought that Haaland doesn't like the measure of Romero at all. And that's when, at times, having a reputation as a bit of a madman can benefit you if you're in the striker's head you're up against. That no, I don't fancy this. No, I don't think Haaland fancied it at all on Saturday.
And of course, Mickey's probably got him covered for pace, so it actually is a bad for
Isn't
him.
it nice to have Van der Ven's pace as an option as opposed to an obligation?
A necessity,
to build the entire team around that guy that can run like Usain Bolt.
One thing worth mentioning, and this is the only sort of downside about Romero's reputation, I don't think any other defender in the league gets booked for that challenge he made the other day. It was never even a foul. And
the commentators were justifying it.
Not even close to being a foul. But even if he did foul him, I don't think that's a yellow card. And he couldn't get it out quick enough, could he?
Nearly changed the game.
See from the first angle that he won the ball. Yeah, it did.
Because they nearly scored from the free kick and then the corner. It could have changed the whole game.
Yeah.
Ross has mentioned he wanted Romero to man-mark Haaland, which isn't easy to do in 3 centre-backs. I think that's a fair point. Will, amazing result without some big names from last year. Yes, exactly. Madders, Kulu, et al. So let's talk about the goal. Obviously, the ball was... 1 minute we're sort of looking like we might lose it in defence. It then gets hoofed forward, the flick on from...
hoof forward's harsh.
Well, hoof forward, okay.
That's a great ball.
It was but it was sort of a get out. It would look like a
I know.
get out.
Porro's got that, he can just whack it long and It's a good outlet.
Absolutely. And the flick on from Sarr, that was it.
Brilliant.
And then we're away. And you're thinking, come on, Richie.
Compose yourself.
All you got to do is pick the man out. And he just about did.
He was just behind him. But Johnson sort of managed to.
And you're sort of like this, like when waiting for the ball to get to him, aren't you? Like, and even then, I think, did a goalie get a touch on it? Or yeah. But in the back of the net, Johnson.
There's no doubt you didn't celebrate. Definitely didn't celebrate.
I was working, I was listening to it, and it's like, and a goal. Oh, the flag's up. So I just.
But when it went in, it was one of those ones, and sometimes, you know, my pessimism is put to one side. I thought that could be onside.
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking when Sarr flicked it on, thinking that defender looked like he was sort of leaning back a bit, and his foot was slightly back. But you sort of like, didn't celebrate, waited.
Well, I thought maybe that initially that it was for Johnson.
Oh, no, I know. Well, he played it back, so I knew it could be for Johnson.
Yeah. Johnson again, though.
Well, it was like a classic. There would have been someone on Twitter in that first half an hour that tweeted, Johnson has been so poor, bet he scores now.
Yeah.
And, you know, none of us are that massive Johnson fans, but what can you say?
Well,
just let him do his thing.
This is what I kept saying last season. It can't be a coincidence that he keeps getting picked, but keeps finding himself in the right position to score. And managers, we all see him.
Yeah, but what we want,
else.
But he can do that and
But is that the only
contribute a lot
reason
more in a game. That's not out of the question.
True. But obviously we've got. I mean, there's a long list of players that could play ahead of him on the left. New managers come in, and Frank has said, "You're my guy." Why do we think this is? If in our eyes he's not doing enough.
Well, we're not laden with natural goal scorers in the squad, are we? We haven't got a load of, especially since Son's gone. There's not a huge number of players that if you said, "I want you to put £1,000 on every Spurs player in the team to score more than 10 goals," how many would you pick? You wouldn't really want to risk more than 3 players, I don't think, which is a bit of a concern that maybe we'll go into later on. But I can't stand Johnson as an overall player, but then I find myself just ruefully smiling at him the whole time, because as soon as you think you're at your very, very lowest with Johnson, goal for Tottenham, number whatever, Brennan Johnson. So he's
become an excellent finisher.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's this whole tap-in Johnson, but you look at some of the goals Johnson scored in
the two he scored this year are elite finishes.
That's what I mean. I mean, that one you should score, but the one against Burnley is top
finish.
As
we said, the ball was behind him. He's still got to finish it off.
I remember that one he scored late last season with his left foot against Southampton, where he sort of got pulled back, and he's obviously a really good finisher. I think he played for a while. He played up front for Wales, and you watch some of his goals for Forest. I remember when he scored a volley he scored against Leeds in their first season up. He's a great finisher. I know, the whole tap-in Johnson thing, but
even then, I used to say this and think this when Kane first came on the scene. He'd get a few tap-ins, but I was thinking for such a young striker, he seems to always be in the position to get the tap-in. And I think I've always said...
That's not a fluke.
As a striker or as a forward player, that's something that you can't teach. You can work on finishing, but if you don't just have that positional sense of knowing where to be at the right time, then
it wasn't just he looked up and he was somehow in the box all alone against Man City. You got to time your run. You got to know when to go. Yeah. You got to have the pace that he has.
Absolutely.
I bet Telwan Odobert wouldn't have been there.
I was just thinking exactly the same.
That's nothing on them, but exactly. Or they would have ballooned it over the bar.
Exactly.
I did see someone say that Johnson has an understanding that a fullback is not going to switch on for 90 minutes, and so he has an awareness that eventually, if you keep making the run, you will eventually score. And it's quite hard to argue with it at the minute.
The other thing was how quickly we managed to get the ball from the defence into the back of the net. And we've talked a lot about different ways that Frank wants to do it. I mean, that's not very. I mean, it's sort of Ange-ball, but it's not very.
That's proper Frank though.
That's what I mean.
What Frank does, isn't it? You've seen it at Brentford. How many times that? Remember there was
it's a long ball, a flick on, a cross,
you watch Brentford so many times. That one where they beat us 3-1 at home. I think it was one of Kane's last games, and I think it was Mbeumo destroyed us. But they get it quickly, so forward. You blink, and then Mbeumo's got it in the box, and that was a bit like us. You blinked, and Richarlison's got Johnson a tap in.
Well, the other thing is we've talked since the season started about now it's a Richie versus Solanke kind of shootout. Is Solanke putting that cross in like that?
Not sure. It was a good run. The run was more Richarlison than Solanke, who I think would have naturally tried to come.
But then to finish to actually pick the cross out. I mean,
I do think when you talk
for
about
your number 9 to be picking out crosses like that, I mean, I'm not sure Haaland's playing that cross.
No, when you talk about the directness of the goal, 100%. But I think you have to get into the position where the opposition don't expect you to do it. So I don't think it's a surprise that goal came after we had about 10 minutes or so of more measured possession that does bring them up, and then you go long. I don't think we'd have scored that goal inside the first 10 minutes when we were defending so deep and not be able to get out. So, yes, like the showpiece event is a long ball, quick goal, but I think...
We caught them out.
Yeah, I think it would be harsh on Frank and his team to suggest that it's just quick ball. That, for me, is the result of 10 minutes of good possession and starting to dominate the game that naturally draws City up. So overall, like as a passage of play, like that's exactly what you want.
Absolutely, and against a team with a high line, I mean, it's a way to get at them. Then we had that weird Trafford handball moment with Kudus, where he clattered Kudus and did it touch his hand, and then Porro was fouled just outside the box, and you're thinking, is this a penalty? Do you remember just in between the goals?
Do you know what? I watched that on my way to work yesterday. And I was thinking, no one's mentioned that. Yeah. No one's mentioned that.
No. How are you not giving us one of them as a foul?
But you know, the handball, whatever, you know, maybe, you know, whatever. The foul, right?
That's a foul.
And I hate to compare it to... If that was Arsenal, right, can you imagine the reaction, the videos and the slow-mo?
I don't need to imagine, there was no...
there was no... I mean, look, I'm always... When you win the game... I don't like talking about referees anyway, if you win the game, whatever. But there was no mention of anything the whole footballing day. Yeah. No one mentioned it. There was a few Spurs fans going, oh, you know, how's he got away? He borderline assaulted him.
Yeah.
No?
Well, at first I thought it might have been a penalty, and the replay said it was definitely outside the box, but it was also definitely a foul.
He got some of the ball, but he like come out and like fly-kneed him in the...
But of course the problem is the VAR can't go back and give that because it's only for... It won't give a free... They won't give a free
It could have given Trafford for serious foul play. Couldn't have given the Porro one.
Couldn't have given the Porro one. So that is where we are.
Wait, what was the Porro one?
Straight after.
The foul outside the area. The ball gets recycled and he gets tripped. I mean, no doubt he gets tripped.
It was a free kick,
wasn't it? It was a free kick.
To not get either of them as a foul is pretty mad.
Yeah. Soul Sniper. Johnson actually played quite well in the second half in general play. I think they all did. Stephen, great goal.
Yes, but what was your reaction when he had that shot from the edge of the box when he had three men?
Oh my God, Saul was
like, I know you do it for everyone, but when he had
very un-Johnson. I know. Though. I was like,
I didn't kick it that far.
Of all times to do that, Saul was making that lovely little run in the box, and I was like, oh.
This is a tap.
I almost didn't mind it in a way because I thought he's got a bit of confidence about him, but at the time I was like, that's going to come back to bite us.
David Clark, hi from Leicester. Congratulations to Spurs ladies for beating Arsenal away 4-3 in a pre-season friendly. Absolutely. What's he saying also? It wasn't handball because the ball bounced off Kudus onto the keeper's chest. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was more. It was more the.
I think the UFC assault was more of the.
Marks, top stuff, gents. Jorge, defo red card. Leading with the knee in the box might be okay, but not outside the area. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't
Trafford, that's a red card to the away team.
100%. And then the second goal came, which I actually missed as I was doing that thing where, I don't know why I did this. I had to go out afterwards, and I was trying to move, watching from downstairs to upstairs. And as I moved, basically, suddenly it's 2-0. So I missed the second goal in real time.
As a very superstitious man,
what am I doing?
You doing that honestly gives me like the creeps. The fact that you would have the arrogance to change your position when we're winning 1-0, I find it a very troubling character trait.
And then it was bad because I got upstairs. Then all of a sudden there's no batteries in the remote, or because there's no back to it, so they've fallen out, and I'm having a.
Could you hear the commentary?
No, I've turned it off downstairs, and I've gone upstairs.
Oh, and you turned it on, and they were celebrating.
Yeah. Excellent.
Wow, that is
excellent. Anyway, obviously I've seen it since. Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous.
That had been coming all game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And we did we scored the same goal in the game 2 seasons ago. No, it wasn't.
Oh, Kulusevski.
Kulusevski. We were 2-0 up at half time. We lost 4-2, and it was the same guy. I think it was Ederson into. Maybe Rodri or someone like that.
No, Stones, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, Rodri.
Someone like that. And I couldn't help but thinking, I kept saying it to my friends, I was like...
A straight pass,
We're going to nick one out the back here because City do things that you can't even believe happen in top-level football. And fair play, what Pep's done and they get away with it. But occasionally they do things and you think, how are you playing that pass there? Like, you could, concede a goal in your own 6-yard box.
Yeah.
The only disappointing thing was Richarlison didn't manage to finish it off. But brilliant. Palhinha, great for him to get his first goal. And
The progressive finish from Palhinha.
progressive pass from Palhinha.
The progressive pass into the back of the net.
But it wasn't a surprise because we didn't score and sit back. We sort of continued on the front foot.
Yeah.
And we smelt blood massively there.
To still be pressing that high in the second minute
Yeah.
of added on time in the first half gives you an idea of exactly what Frank is about, basically. And we're here for it.
Yeah, I thought our general appreciation of the situation of the game on Saturday was exceptional. Like, we knew when to put our foot on them, and at that time, because you could so easily say, get in 1-0, thanks very much. But we were so on top that it would have been bad not to get a second goal then. And then again, on about 60 minutes, City's just stopped, and we had 15 minutes of just dominance. We didn't score.
We had those few crosses.
Yeah, but whereas against PSG, who are a much better team, I think, we found ourselves getting penned in. We refused to do that, and we took control of the game again for 15 minutes, which basically won us the game in that period, I think.
It's interesting you mentioned... Yeah, go on.
Do you know, I think is a massive, massive factor in that exact thing? Kudus. Kudus is so good and so quick and so strong, and his ball retention is so good. He almost doesn't allow you to get penned back in for too long, because there was a few times where he receives the ball and he beats men and he wins a throw-in or he wins a corner or wins a free kick, and there's enough time eaten up that it completely breaks all their momentum. Whereas previously, we've seen it, and we saw it against PSG. It was a long ball smash forward, and when Kudus went off and it comes straight back. But Kudus kept breaking up the game perfectly, and even Johnson did it a few times. And then we'd be, even if they did win it back, we'd be pressing them, and 4 or 5 times we forced them to just play the ball out of play for throw-ins. I thought that was so key in that second half.
You mentioned PSG, and I was about to say, doesn't it help when you've got some experienced guys on the pitch, which City don't really have or have less of? PSG, fantastic experienced in what they do. And we now, look at that lineup, you've got Richarlison, we've brought in Palhinha, full of experience. Kudus has played a lot now.
Romero,
obviously the defenders, suddenly compared to the team that we had to put out a lot last season, and as good as they are, those players, the likes of, throw some names, even Sarr and Burval and Archie Gray, these guys are still learning, and when you go in a game like that, you need some cool, experienced heads to do the business like that.
Yeah, and they're all men.
Yeah.
Like, when you see the picture of the lineup,
they're big boys.
I know you laughed at me. My favourite NFL phrase is when you beat a team off the bus because they see you coming off and like, oh my God, these guys are massive. When you saw the Spurs team line up before the anthem or whatever, it's like a team of men that City got to look at and think, oh God, this is going to be a battle here. I love players like Gray and Bergvall, but they're kids. And there's absolutely a place for them, and they will hopefully go on to be great players. But you look at the spine of that team that we had on Saturday. That was try and beat that. Yeah, that was proper.
Johnny Blaine will be smiling on a beach in Tenerife somewhere if he's still in Tenerife. Us talking about
with a glass of something nice.
We're talking about men in the team. He's been calling for that for a while, hasn't he?
I'm always one of these people. I know there's such a kind of emphasis on signing young players with sell-on values and because you can buy them cheaper, sell them, or that kind of thing. But a player like Palhinha, how much did he cost?
Nothing. For now, nothing.
So he's on loan.
But he's going to be about 20 million.
It's nothing for somebody with that much experience, with that, I know people say he can't sort of look at what he can't do, but look at what he can do. I think that, and not only what he can do in terms of a footballing sense, what he gives you in terms of an experience and a mentality sense.
I think that the way that sort of sums up how good Palhinha is the fact that he has hardly kicked the ball all year.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
He played 2025 he's hardly kicked the ball, and he's come in with a new manager, a new team. He's settled in London obviously, and he knows the Premier League well, but he is slotted in so easily, and if you watch that game on Saturday, you'd think he's one of our longest serving players the way he played. He just, slotted in perfectly, and he looks like he's been here for years already. It
was my only concern was what player are we getting? Because obviously the player that left Fulham, I think Bayern tried to sign him. Did they try to sign him in the summer before?
No, in the January
right,
before.
And then he didn't go.
Yep.
And then, so, it was one of the best players in that position, I think, in the Premier League. But he barely played last year. So I'm thinking, what are we getting? Well, we've seen what we're getting. We've seen what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll play every game. I think like the Burnley game, there's going to be times where you don't necessarily need 100%. A player like that. But if he can start 30 or 40 games and then come off the bench in 10 or 15, I mean, obviously fitness is going to be the key. and probably the determining factor of the whole season is how can we keep these players fit, because that really is going to be a huge difference maker, as it is for everyone. But we've seen in the last 2 years how much of an impact it has on us. But if you can keep the guy fit, then that always felt like the biggest no-brainer signing for a long time for me. I know that not everyone agrees, and I see the reasoning for not agreeing, and it doesn't mean that we don't need other traits, but ultimately that was a position and a personality and a profile of player that was such a desperate need for this team, and you can see the difference it's made already.
What do we think then? Because I heard it mentioned somewhere in a sort of loose comparison to the way that Liverpool the way that Liverpool did go about things when they had that midfield three of, remind me, Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum, wasn't it? Yeah.
With no, natural
no creator, very solid, very effective, if not very spectacular. Is this kind of the template? Because it's not what Frank did at Brentford.
No.
Damsgaard was, one of the top maybe 5, certainly top 10s of last season.
But they had the two best wingers in the league by a country mile,
and fullbacks, which does make a big difference.
And that's why I have been crying out for how long about sign 2 proper wingers, and we've got a top quality one, who already has created a load of chances in the 3 games he's played, and that's why we still need one on the
other
left.
One who scored in both.
And obviously we want a number 10, and we won't talk about the new Judas, but
we will in a bit.
But you don't, we still do need a number 10, but you can get joy from out wide. We've seen it already this season. We saw it. Look at what we did against City out wide. So many crosses. It doesn't always have to come from centrally.
Yeah, as the window creeps to a close, 3 weeks ago you think, we'll probably get 4 or 5 in. And 2 weeks ago, 3 or 4, and now I'm sort of at 1 or 2. If we can only get one attacking player, I would still rather that was a winger than a number 10, personally.
I just want to give a shout out to Mark Stewart Wakely, who's become a new follower. So well done to you, sir. Spence for England, surely, perhaps. I just want to ask you, because you did touch on it there. I mean, the second half, we closed it out. Another game that we've won with Romero and Van de Ven playing. The win percentage and I think clean sheet percentage is
double.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It shows you what we were lacking. Couple of stats that Johnny sent me that he made me promise to read out. Stat bomb, but they're quite good.
Always plugging himself.
I'm not going to read them all.
Do you work
out.
in the game, Johnny?
I'm going to read the good ones. No, he didn't. He was on holiday.
No, in the game.
Oh, in the game.
Yeah.
I like this one though. Tottenham are only the second side to win away to Pep Guardiola managed side in back-to-back league seasons after United in 1920 and 2021. This one was doing the rounds a bit. I think they had it on, was it Match of the Day? Thomas Frank becomes only the third manager to beat Pep away from home in the league at 2 different clubs, following, remember who?
Conte and Mourinho.
There you go, Conte and Mourinho, you saw it. I mean, that's a pretty illustrious list to be in. With 6 points and +5 goal difference, it's Tottenham's best start in their opening 2 games of the season since 14-15. Do we remember who we beat in those?
QPR and West Ham.
West Ham, QPR.
I remember West Ham. It was QPR.
West Ham was amazing.
Who scored? Well,
Dyer.
Yeah, Dyer scored in both games.
Yeah. Right.
And Johnson's the first player to do that since.
Exactly.
We've all read the running order.
We've all read the running order.
Great stat as well, which I think James Robbins mentioned in our group, that Frank's won back-to-back games at Tottenham quicker than Amorim has at United, which is incredible.
He still hasn't. It's crazy.
Which is amazing, yeah.
And we're the first side to score in the first 5 consecutive away games at the Etihad, to score first in 5 consecutive away games at the Etihad.
I've got one as well, which I saw at work yesterday. Pep Guardiola has been 2-0 down at half-time in the Premier League 6 times. 3 were at home to us.
The one we lost and last year and this year. Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bizarre, the record that we got.
It is an absolute... I don't know why. It doesn't matter who we've got or who's in charge. He is spooked by Tottenham. Yeah. I don't know why. You can tell the way, even in his presser before the match, the way he talks about us. Yeah. It's like we're the greatest team ever to play this game. He's completely spooked by us.
And he doesn't do that thing that he does with teams that like to play who aren't very good by saying they're so good, they're so good. He doesn't do that.
He called us the Harry Kane team, then Son destroyed him for a few years.
Yeah.
Now, then it was Kulusevski. Now it's
Brennan Johnson.
Sarr.
Brennan Johnson. Yes, any of them.
It's just bizarre.
You mentioned the window's coming to a close. It is coming to a close. This time next week. Should we talk about him then? Do we not want to talk about him?
Who?
The new Judas?
Honestly, it's amazing what a win can do. And, seeing how excited he was to be an Arsenal player and how hard he obviously pushed to be an Arsenal player, good riddance.
Well, if he's an Arsenal fan, in the end, yes. I tell you what, I was away on Thursday. I got off the plane to 300 messages on the Echo of Glory WhatsApp group. I'm thinking, what's going on?
You must have thought something really bad's happened.
I could not believe what I was reading. I was like, "Are you joking?"
Did you think this is Eze when you?
No, I just thought it was just the crap chat that's normally on there. No, I hadn't got a clue. I thought it was just back and forth chat. It was a couple of hours. Something can happen.
It's a shame because I really like Eze. I really like him as a player. Watching when I thought bringing him to Spurs is great, and now it's just
And do you know what else though? I got the double whammy because I had to work at Arsenal on Saturday.
I was driving back from my job and I heard Jake Robson reporting on the game.
Oh, God.
Not only that, it's not that great.
Bad news coming through. Very bad news. Arsenal working on a deal to sign Bayer Leverkusen centre-back. Piero Hincapié
How
from
many
Leverkusen.
defenders do they need? All right,
joking?
anyway.
Is it?
I swear. That has just come through now.
Well, he was another one that we were going to talk about. I was just going to say, I had to go. Not only is it bad enough having to go to Arsenal, but then suddenly we're being told there's going to be a special announcement. Announcement 15 minutes before the game. And there's
Has he not accidentally wrote Spurs there?
Who?
Has he accidentally written Arsenal there, David Ornstein?
I hope he has.
I doubt it.
Realistically, though, is he somebody that we thought we might sign, Hincapié?
I don't know. I mean, the rumours appeared to be strong-ish. But, I guess if Arteta was going to be forced to sign an attacker, he would have had to promise to get another defender because heaven forbid he doesn't have 27 defenders in the squad.
I can't believe.
Why would he want to go there as well? They've got the most settled back two in probably world football.
If we are going to sign anyone else between now and the end of the window, I'm thinking we're
not going to be him.
Well, at best, I reckon we're going to get him one more player.
Yeah.
What position, if not a name, what position do we think it's going to be? Do we hope it's going to be?
I don't actually know. No.
I think there's enough.
I mean, it feels like this whole left-sided thing has just like disappeared. Left back has gone.
I think Savinho seems the most likely player, even though
but then
it's the most unlikely situation
as well. Because City have got Simon Rodrigo, and I don't know if I see that. He started last night, Rodrigo as well. So
Nico Paz, is that dead?
It didn't ever sound like it was.
Johnny said mention players that we were never going to sign.
Yeah.
I watched
Rivaldo, Morientes.
I watched a few clips of him
last
night. There was a few doing the rounds. Obviously, he scored a great goal and whatever. But all I could think of in that is just a mould of Lamella and Lo Celso into one.
Who, Paz?
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm sure he'll go on to be great at Real Madrid, but also we've essentially bid 70 million euros and Real Madrid have a 10 million pound buyback next year.
That sounds like a good deal.
Need we say any more?
Yes, absolutely not.
Ali Gold has said we've come out and we're not in for Hincapié.
Has he? Who's saying that?
Jorge.
Ali Gold has come out and said we're not in. Well, then fine. Then we're not. If we're not in for him, we're not in for him. Quite frankly, I just think, I said this earlier, I look at the Palhinha signing and I want players who are, if we're going to make more signings.
Ali Gold, sorry to interrupt, Spurs prioritising a number 10 and the winger.
Right, so he reckons we might get in two.
But we're all prioritising it. We can all prioritise anything.
I just think we've done the young prospect signing bulk last season. We brought in Archie Gray, we brought in Bergvall, we brought in Odegaard. We've now signed Tell. Dragishin the year before that. It's got to be players with more experience, preferably with Premier League experience, but certainly with a bit more, age on their side.
The problem is, wingers-wise, and even number 10s, it doesn't... I know he's just posted it, Ronnie. It doesn't seem like there's many out there. It really doesn't. It doesn't seem like there's many quality left wingers out there that you go, yeah, I'd have a bit of him. I'd have a bit of Rodrigo.
I like Mitoma. I love Mitoma.
Yes.
We've both been saying that.
But for the money that Savinho's going to cost, it seems like Mitoma would be cheaper.
I said that yesterday
him.
During the Brighton game.
He's only 28, so
brilliant Mitoma.
Even if you got 2 years out of him, great.
I think Brighton
should have signed him 2 years.
Money for him though, because they.
But he's running. His contract's running down.
I think
he's not signed a contract for a long time.
I mean, he'd be good. The other one that who else have we been linked with? Savinho's another one that could happen. The other one, this Morgan Rogers thing interests me because of Villa's financial situation. They were talking on Match of the Day yesterday or on Saturday, I can't remember which, about how awful it is that Villa can't buy any players. And I'm 2
years left, by the way, less than 2 years left.
And I'm thinking, but Villa have got themselves into the situation. They know the rules. They now can't spend any more money on players because they've already spent enough.
Yeah.
So is Villa a club maybe that we could be looking at and go, well, we'll have a bit of that, thanks very much?
I saw I don't think Rodgers, I think it's too late in the window for a
Villa
player.
would have to replace him.
Yeah, but I did see quite a few Villa fans online saying that they thought Rodgers' head wasn't in the game at all on Saturday, which maybe one to watch.
But none of them, they were all full.
He opened it. I don't know if you saw that interview he did with the Times. He sort of open to a potential move. Said, "Oh, I don't know how the next 12 months are going to go. I want to be playing in the Champions League."
True. Anyway, that would be a nice one. Coming up this weekend, then, are we done on transfers?
Yeah, can we bring transfer corner?
So let's close it. I thought you guys liked talking transfers.
No,
I'm not that. I'm not
I do when we actually sign them.
Right, okay,
not when it's players that we miss out on. Go to Arsenal.
I'm not that interested in it. This weekend, Saturday, 3:00 at home, Bournemouth. You both going?
Yes.
I'm not, unfortunately.
What do we think? Bournemouth, goodish start, but they've got to be there for the taking at home.
Yeah.
Jake.
I watched Bournemouth against Liverpool on the opening day, and they were really, really, really good. I feel like you can get at Bournemouth. Liverpool scored 4.
Well, they're not the defensive team they were last year.
Well, no.
Sure.
That new left back looks good, but they're very well coached.
Yeah.
You could see the way they played at Anfield. They probably should have won that game. They were the better team. They obviously beat 10-man Wolves 1-0 on Saturday. Didn't really see much of that. And they've got a player who we'd all love to sign him, probably Semenyo. But we should, I never like to say we should be winning, but that kind of game, if we want to push on those kind of teams, we should be beating them teams at home. And, you have to earn your right to beat anyone. But, Bournemouth, Palace, Fulham's, we didn't beat any of them last season. We should be beating them at home. We should.
I totally agree. I totally agree. We said it. Did we play Bournemouth quite early on at home last season?
No, we played them
away
late on.
first.
We played
drew
them
2-2.
We played them at Christmas and around Christmas and lost 1-0, and then we drew 2-2, which was actually Son's last goal, and we should have been 5 down after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember it was 2 seasons ago we had Bournemouth quite early.
Yeah,
I remember you
under
saying
Alex,
exactly the same thing. If we're going to do anything,
that was away, but yeah.
Yes, but we've got to expect,
Yeah,
and we
those
did go and
kind
win
of-
on that day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We need to be beating them teams. It'd be a brilliant start.
But it's a completely different feeling about the whole thing now.
Yeah, but as a seasoned Spurs fan, the idea of everyone in good form, good spirit, Saturday 3:00, probably in the sun, before international, should win in inverted commas. If that's not screaming Tottenham trap game to you, you've not been doing this long enough.
It does feel very trappy.
It just
But we should win. Regardless of that, it doesn't mean we will.
At least we now know. Last season, apart from at the end, certainly in the beginning, Gary was sat here going, I don't know what's going to happen because I could say something's going to happen and the complete opposite could happen. We know what we're going to see. We think we know what we expect to see from Tottenham now, which at least is a bit more comforting.
You'd hope so, but I'm old enough to remember sort of
I can't believe
players like Barry Hales running through us at times like this for Fulham, and just losing these games that you think, well, yeah, really. As soon as you look
normally
forward to
I
going,
didn't even know what we're getting in terms of result, in terms of performance and setup.
But I'm really looking forward to Saturday, and that is the biggest red flag you could possibly
Whenever
have.
I really look forward, we lose.
Okay, well, do we at least think we'll see the 4-3-3 as opposed to the 3-4?
Yes.
I think it'll be an unchanged team.
Unchanged team, do you?
No midweek game. We played early. I don't see a reason unless there's any injuries.
This isn't a
Unless we sign.
Palhinha has a rest kind of game.
Nah.
Bournemouth are too good, aren't they? Do we
Yeah,
think?
no. Yeah.
Same
Palhinha
team.
will get slightly maybe rotated in a few games when the Champions League comes back.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be Bournemouth at home for you.
No, I wouldn't make any change. I mean, I don't know if Udogi's back, but I don't think you change the back four anyway.
I don't think he's. I think Spencer's. Does Udogi get back in the team now?
I would still like to see Spence play at right back at some point and Udogi play left back.
I think they both
That's
will.
just a
I
personal
think they
thing.
both will. He'll come back at points, and Spence will play right back.
But obviously Udogi was Ange's guy in a sense, but now with the new manager, Spencer's got.
He's got to earn his right.
Surely
he's not
Udogi
played a minute yet.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be back.
And
anyway.
actually, I was thinking about that with Richarlison because it would have been so easy for a manager to just bring Solanke back as the sort of newer £60 million striker. I do quite like the fact that Frank is making Solanke earn the shirt back.
He said that, didn't he? He said Richarlison is my number 9
I
at the
did.
moment.
I think if you get injured and you lose your spot, you should have to work hard to get it back.
Unless
and
you're
hopefully,
a fan of Enner Romero, kind of.
Yeah,
it's
but
a bit
I mean,
different, but generally, yeah.
I've always been a bit critical of players that get injured all the time anyway. I think for responsibility, personal standpoint. So I'm not saying it's going to make a difference.
Or Darren Anderton.
Well, no, apparently he played a lot more games than
Well, he was around forever.
but
yeah.
I do think that if it incentivizes players to try and stay at the top of their game at all times, because if you're out the team, you might lose your shirt. I think that's a really important value to have at a club.
I don't want to say where does Solanke go from here, but how does he get back in the side? Do you think?
Come off the bench, make an impact.
It's difficult
when the Champions League comes back in. Yeah. Everyone knows you get the first 3 games out of the way, and then it is relentless till Christmas, pretty much. Besides this thing, there's one more international break. There'll be plenty, and we have to manage Richarlison's minutes, because we can't be back here in November going, oh, he's been overplayed, and we know what his injuries are like. So Solanke will come back and play plenty of points, but maybe they'll rotate a bit more.
Well, I was going to say, if it comes down to it, which of the two is your sort of League One and which is your Champions League one, maybe? Or
I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. But yeah, Richarlison's got the shirt and he's deserved it. You know, he's been involved in 4 out of the 5 goals we've scored, so he deserves it.
You worry for Big Dom?
So,
No.
He'll
definitely play. Richarlison's going to get injured at some point, unfortunately, which is the only
reason. I thought he did get injured on Saturday.
Yeah, well, it's the only reason that we're not. The only reason that I'm not getting super excited about Richarlison is that I feel like we've been here before, and we know how the story
he had a purple
will transpire.
Patch 2 seasons ago around
and then he got
Christmas
injured.
time, and then he got injured, and that's basically the last we've seen of him.
And I said, I'm not going to try and be a hypocrite. I said on the show in the summer that I would sell him at all costs because of his injury. Now, right now, we're riding the crest of a wave of Richarlison that is good, but until I would need to see him play for a full season without getting injured for me not to have it.
At least till Christmas, and you've got 30 games out of the way.
In the back of my mind that,
can be trusted.
You know, he got injured against Aston Villa in November, like just passing the ball 4 yards to Solanke.
Yeah, and he was
out
on
for
in
6
that
weeks.
game. Yeah.
So I love the guy, but
we all love the guy.
You'll have to.
He's so frustrating.
Yeah, you have to permit me a little bit of trepidation about his injuries, I'm afraid.
Stephen Bruton, international break after 3 games is ridiculous. Yes, we've mentioned that before. Jorge reckons it's 3 at the back. Dave Clark, football isn't played on paper. As a player coach, I led a side to beat the best team at our level in a cup final. But first round the next season, we lost on penalties. The worst team I ever played. Well, yes, that is
Angie,
exactly. Play them together next week from the start. Well, I wonder.
Maybe play Solanke and.
I don't think that'll happen this week because I think I agree with you guys because Johnson can't be dropped. Kudus has to start. Is that something that we could see? Is that more of a when he goes 3 at the back? Could he play Richarlison off?
Yeah, but then it's just no Kudus.
We could play Kudus as a 10 behind in the Sarr position.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would be quite
interesting.
Maybe not completely ruled out.
You'd probably need a crossing left back to make that worthwhile.
I could maybe see it if Richarlison played on the left. Didn't Wissa play on the left for a bit at points when Tony was there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe we could see that, or maybe sort of Richarlison as a narrow winger.
Wissa, eh? Yeah, just leaving that out there because I know you guys love transfers.
I'll tell you one thing I was thinking.
Yes.
And I was watching United yesterday, and it really brought the Frank stuff into stark focus. Like Amorim has rocked up at United. Has decided that I play one way only. I never change the formation, but in order for this to work, I need to have 11 players that are all going to cost 60, 70 million quid for this system to work. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if that's what you are no different to a kid playing football manager. You don't have a system. You're not really a manager.
Really good
you
players.
just have, you just want transfers. And the contrast in Frank, who has had 3 games so far, 3 competitive games, with a squad that most of us would say is currently a bit undercooked and underfunded. He's played 3 different ways, got 3 different performances, and we lost to PSG, but for services to football in May, for them beating Arsenal, they can have the Super Cup as far as I'm concerned. And we've left all 3 of those games really pleased with the actual management. And watching United toil against Fulham yesterday, and the manager doing absolutely nothing to change his stubbornness. This is the way I play. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
he's one of the least flexible managers.
And that's not dissimilar to Ange in a way that I play this way and everything else has to work around it. Oh, and by the way, if you don't give me £80 million players in every position, it's not going to work. Well, that's not a system. And it really made me appreciate the work that Frank's done so far, and that's what a manager is versus an idealist, as far as I'm concerned.
Do we see of the 3 performances? How do we think is the Bournemouth one? Could that be closest maybe to the City one, or? It's not going to be quite like, or maybe Burnley, but they won't sit off us. Might we see a 4th way of playing?
Bournemouth will come at us.
Yeah, but they go long. They're quite a direct team, Bournemouth, aren't they?
Which you saw that at Anfield.
So this could almost be a 4th style because we haven't really played anyone like Bournemouth yet.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one because Burnley, we knew what they're doing.
Yeah.
City and PSG was similar-ish. They're sort of maybe a sort of...
Let them come at us a bit more. Yeah.
It could benefit us.
I'm
Playing against a team like Bournemouth that are going to come at us. They'll be dangerous on the counter-attack. Semenyo is absolutely quality.
Yeah.
You saw that against Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
Oh, he is.
Porro will have his work cut out. Does he play on the left?
Yeah.
Sometimes he plays on the right, don't he? But
Yeah,
he sort of
floats
around.
Floats about. Adam, pre-game, what's the plans?
Good question. Nothing.
You don't have a set routine.
No, it depends.
Being a superstitious
He's like
person.
Frank, he's flexible.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a few different ways of playing. Sometimes it's the Antwerp, sometimes it's straight to your seat.
Number 8.
Yeah, number 8 is more of a post game.
Okay.
Antwerp beforehand normally for me.
Okay.
And I imagine that I'll have a nose around there for a bit beforehand.
Going with Dad?
Dad, I won't be going with him, but sitting with him.
Sit with him.
Yeah.
And rest of the day plan, seeing as it's a bank holiday. You're working.
I'm working today. Big one tonight, isn't it?
It is a big one.
The Alexander Isak derby.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning also, because we're not until next week, the Champions League draws this week.
It is. It is on Thursday.
Yeah. It always makes me laugh because you have the Carabao Cup third round draw or fourth round draw, whatever it is, on Wednesday night.
Third, I think. Yeah.
And then you have the Champions League draw, which is always exciting. We've not been in it for when we last
2
done
years.
it. 2 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if that starts Thursday, then when our show starts on Monday, we should just be coming to the end of it.
Very good.
I think we're pot free.
That took you both a little bit longer to get than I was.
But I don't think the
hoping
pots
for.
make that much.
I was going to say, there's no point in working out who we can get because no one really knows.
No, but
how
it doesn't
works.
though, because you used to get, if you're in pot 3, you'd get one from pot one from 2, and one from 4. But now you play against teams in your own pot.
I know.
So is there an advantage? Someone tell me, is there an advantage from being in pot 1
If you
compared
don't
to
know,
pot 3?
then I'm not
I don't
sure
know.
anyone's going to be able to tell us, to be honest.
Well, I guess if you're you play 2 teams from each pot, right?
Oh, it might be who you play at home and who you play away.
Maybe.
I don't know.
No, because you don't have to go away to 2 pot 1 teams, surely.
No, you play one home, one
but the
away.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not. I don't know. Look, someone just said no. It doesn't. No, it doesn't matter.
No one knows.
But we're going to have some. Well, we're guaranteed now, aren't we? We are going to play 2 pot 1 teams, and we can't play City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. I assume they're in pot 1, so it's going to be 2 of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, and Napoli.
Sure.
So we've got one exciting away trip and one
not
of
sure
those.
Napoli will have the coefficient to be in there.
Inter, yeah.
Yeah.
One of those. Oh yeah, Inter got to the final, didn't they?
Of course, the first year
Pot
ever.
2 out of 3. Is that 2 out of 3?
No, 2 or 3.
2
I
or 3.
assume.
I think it's the first year ever that the Europa League winners aren't in pot 1.
Yeah.
So we talk about classic Tottenham.
Changed it for us. To be fair, it doesn't make a difference this year. So
That's the party line until we get like an absolute.
Okay, but if
orange
we
draw.
were in pot 1, then are we saying we could only then get one of those other teams?
No, you
no,
still gotta
it's
pay
still
2
2.
of each.
Oh,
It's still 2.
sorry, well,
Because Arsenal got it last year and played their pot 1 teams with Dinamo Zagreb and
Someone
rubbish.
Mill
as
Hill.
always. Yeah.
Well, yes, we will be discussing that for sure next Monday. I assume Johnny's back. I don't know. He seems to always be on holiday at the moment.
he can't show his face now. We're winning.
Now we're winning. I'm not allowed to say that
Dortmund
anymore.
are pot
You
1.
can say that. Yes. Now we're winning.
He doesn't like winning.
He doesn't like
He's
winning.
in his element when we lose. It's natural for him.
Deary me.
Yeah, look,
Winning is
Madrid-
uncomfortable.
It doesn't sit well.
No, it doesn't sit
with him.
well.
That's
He doesn't
quite
know how to
like
feel.
that. Madrid, Inter, Barca, Dortmund, PSG, Bayern. Who
All
would we want to play? We've just played PSG. We played Dortmund about 15 times. Wouldn't mind a crack at Real Madrid again.
I suppose you'd like.
Real Madrid at home.
Well, I think
Barca
you
away.
probably want your home game to be the easier one and have the glamorous one away because you still need to win 3 or 4 games to get into the top.
Dortmund at home.
Can I just say,
16.
you don't like speculating on transfers. Should we speculate about how many different ways this
Right,
draw
someone
could
get
go?
32 balls in. We'll draw them out. I'll do
By the way,
do our own
on-
draw.
You do the away teams.
On another note, I've got to mention this. Did you see the
Romanian
video of
one?
the Romanian draw doing the rounds? It
No.
is. It's you can take it.
Check
from
it
there,
out.
It's exceptional.
A guy does the home one, and then a guy goes into the pot of balls to the away and picks up a ball, and then another ball just starts rattling next to him, and he quickly changes to pick that one
It's
up.
incredible.
It was insane.
It rattles.
Well, something he was
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
around.
How you'd
for-
imagine them to do Man United in the FA Cup third round every year. That's-
Yeah.
The
check
Rod
that out.
Stewart, also a
Oh,
club.
the
That is
Rod
a good
Stewart
one.
one was amazing. We're gonna go. But Adam, what you do? What rest of the day plans?
Got to
Cooking it
work.
up?
I've got two food tastings Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tastings.
Yeah.
Oh, for people coming to do the tastings.
That's normally how it works.
Can we all come?
No, you can't.
I've done one. They're great.
I've done one. They're amazing.
So so I've got to get prepped for that.
What are you prepping? What are they tasting?
Oh, there's lamb dishes, beef dishes, chicken
You've seen the
dishes,
menu for my
sides.
wedding?
Yeah, Just pull up, Jake's wedding menu.
But I don't do the tasting, so that was one of the options. I'm assuming.
I had everything.
Yeah, no, we roll the red carpet out for our clients. Instagram, Facebook, you can find us anywhere.
Just find them.
Yeah, just find us
and book them.
Are we doing a score prediction, or is it?
I
Feels a bit early, don't it, to do one?
No, we got to do one because this is us now until next Monday.
I'll go 2-1 us. Maybe we might concede.
I predicted 2-2 for City, so that didn't go very well.
I'll go 3-1 for the interest.
We think we're going to concede though.
I know it's weird.
I know.
We
didn't think it was possible.
We don't concede anymore.
Well, that's going to get clipped.
Bournemouth. I think if we've kept a clean sheet away at City, okay. I'll say 2-1. Did you say 2-1?
I'll go 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
Because you're still waiting for the Thursday Ali Gold update of Romero's felt his
that's what I
hamstring
meant.
in
That's
training.
exactly what I meant. 5 days is a long time in
exactly. Ben Davis ready to deputise.
If that does happen, do we then go 3 at the back?
I think Dancer would play.
Dancer would play
just as
a like for like. Yeah. I think.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. All the people in the comments, fantastic as ever. Jorge, Ronnie, Stephen, Gel Boys Jams. Are you new here? We'll be in pot 3, yes. Johnny, I think will be back on Monday. I think he's still on holiday. I don't really know where he is. He doesn't talk to me anymore. But someone will be back here in this chair on Monday. Maybe all of us. Who knows? We'll see. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out the Mickey van der Ven competition. Get on the YouTube page on your PC or your computer, not tablet basically, not iPad or anything like that. It's got to be desktop or a PC. We'll see you next time. Up the Spurs.